Serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson and the Adahi Tano program. Cars Plus, home of Guam's first and only lifetime limited powertrain warranty. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurants, always open, always local, and serving up favorites for over 40 years.
On prime time now, the trial of former police officer Mark Torrey Jr. has been placed on hold after a decision was made this morning. Plus, trial continues for the man accused of murdering and raping a 15-year-old girl. And one man is up for the challenge as acting Parks and Rec Director Jess Garcia is ready to tackle the agency's various issues.
Half a day and good evening. I'm Adriana Cotero. The Mark Torrey Jr. trial is on hold temporarily. The decision was made this morning after a brief hearing in the Superior Court. Sabrina Salas-Montanani reports.
Jury selection and trial was scheduled to get underway today, but as we reported late Wednesday, Mark Torrey Jr.'s attorney Jay Areola filed a late afternoon motion to have the case stayed. The reason is because attorney Areola plans to file a petition to request the Supreme Court to order the lower court to dismiss the case. Earlier this week, Judge Arthur Barcinas denied Torrey's initial request for the case to be thrown out. The defense has been arguing that Torrey's rights to a speedy trial have been violated because of delays by the court and the prosecution.
It's a very important recognition of the issues being presented before the court. The court had to weigh whether the likelihood of success on the merits for our petition, as well as whether there's going to be any irreparable harm to the defendant if we don't stop this trial and proceed to take our petition up before the Supreme Court.
Torrey is being retried for the 2015 fatal shooting of police officer Albert Piolo. In July of last year, the Supreme Court issued a decision vacating his conviction. According to the defense, Torrey's trial should have commenced in December of last year, but because of delays by the court and the AG's office, his client's rights were violated. The AG's office, on the other hand, argued the trial was delayed because of the multiple motions filed by the defense. In court today, Judge Arthur Barcinas agreed to suspend the trial for the Supreme Court to make the ultimate decision. Chief Prosecutor Basil O'Malley did not object for the motion to stay.
One of the things we have to be concerned about is I don't want jeopardy attaching, which would create a different issue. So the smart course is just hold off. Let's see what happens upstairs.
The decision and order will be filed by the end of today, after which attorney Areola says he will be filing his petition with the Supreme Court of Guam. Meantime, a further proceedings hearing before Judge Barcinas has been scheduled for April 6th. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Sabrina Salas-Montanani.
It's day 3 of trial for Brandon Acosta, the man accused of raping and murdering 15-year-old Tamika Nauta in June 2018. Guam Police Department Criminal Investigation Division Detective Angel Santos took to the witness stand and testified for majority of today's trial. Here's more.
I'm not who I am because of the uniform I wear or the badge that I put on my uniform. You know, I am who I am because what my dad made or what my dad taught me and what God made me.
Guam Police Department Criminal Investigation Division Detective Angel Santos was one of the assigned officers to conduct the follow-up investigations on the homicide of teenager Tamika Nauta. Detective Santos was later assigned as one of the case agents for the 2018 incident that occurred on the Nauta family compound located in Dededo. Today, Detective Santos testifies during Brandon Acosta's trial. Acosta was indicted for aggravated murder, criminal sexual conduct, burglary, and home invasion with the special allegation of a deadly weapon for allegedly entering Nauta's makeshift home, burglarizing, raping, and killing her. Santos testifies that Acosta confided in him on personal matters, and they shared in religious practices.
Being that I was requested, or my assistance was requested to assist with transport, I met with Brandon, and in doing so, I informed him that I had a discussion with his brother, and that his brother wanted to remind him to say his prayers.
Santos testified that majority of conversations with Acosta occurred during vehicle transports.
We talked about that. We talked about our faith. I was giving him a different. He was asking me about different parables. I spoke to him about Peter on the boat with Jesus walking on water. I know that's one of them that sticks on my mind. I can't recall everything that we talked about, but I know that the premise for our discussion was our faith. There were no questions. Like I said, there was nothing in any kind of official capacity.
And while in official capacity, Santos testifies that there were further conversations. However, Acosta was read his rights and he waived his rights, and they spoke on their faith, the passing of Acosta's son, Acosta turning to drugs, and also the night of the incident.
He told me that what had happened, what happened inside, he didn't want that wasn't his intent and that it was a mistake.
Santos's testimony lasted several hours this afternoon. Trial will continue tomorrow at 9 a.m. with more of the government's witnesses. Taiwanese citizens Yensin Liu and Yu Wu are scheduled to be arraigned in district court. The two were indicted this week on charges related to visa fraud. As reported, Liu and Wu arrived separately weeks ago. The two had applied as tourists under the visa waiver program, but did not disclose that they were actually going to work at Asia Therapeutic Massage. They are scheduled to appear before U.S. Magistrate Judge Michael Bordallo Friday morning for their arraignment. The latest now with COVID-19. The U.S. House of Representatives today approved an $8 billion emergency funding bill to combat the spread of the coronavirus and develop vaccines for the highly contagious disease. The bill now heads to the Senate for final passage. If passed there, it will head to President Trump's desk. Meanwhile, Vice President Pence, who heads the White House Coronavirus Task Force, held a press conference today as the outbreak continues to spread throughout the United States.
As I stand before you today, we have more than 100 coronavirus cases in the United States. That is counting domestic cases and cases of coronavirus of Americans that were returned from China or the Diamond Princess. I'm pleased to report that most of those who contracted coronavirus within our care are continuing to recover. But sadly, we received word today that another American has passed away, and their family has our deepest condolences.
Vice President Pence is scheduled to visit Washington State, the nation's hardest hit state, tomorrow. Governor Leon Guerrero welcomed the passage of the coronavirus spending bill. She said it will be a great help to the territories, and she wants to make sure that Guam gets its fair share of the billions in funding.
I went through the bill, and there's some really good funding sources and grants to be given to the territories, to help with the cost of monitoring, scanning, preventive measures, getting all prepared, supplies, and so forth.
The House bill also provides for economic assistance to businesses that are impacted by the outbreak. It includes emergency low-interest loans through the Small Business Administration.
There's a disaster loan program from the, like you said, the Small Business Association, administration. So that would be very helpful with our economy here. Also, GITA also does have programs, and I was talking to GITA, and they're going to again aggressively encourage people to do the small business community initiative programs, which also is providing a funding source, lending source to our small business.
The governor mentioned a relief plan for local businesses during a speech Wednesday at the Pandemic Response Plan work session. The complete details are still being worked on. The governor will also be updating the Guam Medical Association on local COVID-19 preparations. She's the featured speaker at tonight's Asia Pacific Health Leadership Forum at the Dusit Hotel. She's also scheduled to speak on the state of the island's healthcare and on her plans for the universal health care coverage. The forum gets underway at 6:30 p.m. and is open to all healthcare providers. KUAM will be streaming her speech later this evening on our Facebook page. And the island's biggest long-distance run has become a casualty of COVID-19. The United Guam Marathon being postponed until September 13th because of the growing global concerns over the coronavirus. A notice sent to UGM runners said, quote, the 2020 United Airlines Guam Marathon scheduled for April 5th, 2020 will be postponed to Sunday, September 13th, 2020. As Guam's largest international sports event, we have been closely monitoring the situation of COVID-19 within the Asia-Pacific region and how this issue affects both our international and local participants. The UGM, the island's premier race distance event, attracts runners from Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Australia, Kenya, and several other countries. The race features 5K, 10K, half, and full marathon races. And it looks like Congressman Michael San Nicolas's H.R. 1365 won't be passing the House this week. A House of Representatives session agenda for this week obtained by KUAM shows the delegates' technical corrections bill is nowhere to be found. 1365 passed the Senate, but a section added in the House giving the measure a Congressional Budget Office score was removed by the Senate. Since that section was removed, the bill was sent back down to the House for approval before it can be sent to the President for approval or veto. San Nicolas did not respond when we asked if the removal of the section added in the House would present any problems with 1365's passage. San Nicolas Congress also said the local war claims program would jeopardize 1365's passage. The technical corrections bill would allow war claims payment through a federal process using Guam's Section 30 funds. Stick around for more news here on Prime Time.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
Half the day, I'm in the club.
Half a day, welcome to Two Lovers Point.
Half a day, I'm in the club.
At the mall, as you enjoy your shopping, dining, or entertainment, you could also win 3 great cars from Atkins Kroll and thousands of prizes in Micronesia Mall's Cars, Prizes, and Getaways game. Present your mall receipts and have a chance to win the renowned performance Chevrolet Camaro, the unapologetic rugged Toyota 4Runner, or the head-turning Lexus ES 350 Luxury. Getaways to Manila, courtesy of Philippine Airlines, plus prizes from Foot Locker and Burger King. The more you shop, the more chance to win in Micronesia Mall's Cars, Prizes, and Getaways game.
Half a day, I'm Governor Lou Leon Guerrero. Over the next few months, 2020 census personnel will be coming to your villages. They will be visiting your homes, collecting information crucial to growing our economy and improving our healthcare, education, public safety, and so much more. Please join me in participating in the 2020 Census of Guam, because together we can shape our future for a brighter tomorrow.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Welcome back. Former employees of the troubled Verona Hotel are looking for their old boss, and they hope they find him before tax season ends. They lost their jobs when Verona owner David Su closed the property last year, and they tell KUAM they need their W-2s. While they say they can't find Su or even get a hold of him, Su tells KUAM the abandoned hotel was burglarized, and the burglars damaged computers that had the former workers' tax documents in them. But Kathy Salenga isn't buying it. Salenga organized Verona workers last year and led them to file labor complaints because Su wasn't paying them on time.
I don't believe him. Probably he's hiding, because I saw his car in Aganya Heights. We just need that W-2, that's all.
Su told KUAM in a WhatsApp message the abandoned hotel's office was burglarized, but he's having the W-2s reconstructed, and his old workers will definitely have the documents they need to file their taxes before April 15th. Employees aren't the only ones Su's been dodging. The Guam Environmental Protection Agency also has had trouble locating him, and just this week, KUAM reported that the Guam EPA served a notice of violation to Su via email. Meanwhile, Salenga said she reached out to the Department of Labor on behalf of her old co-workers, and she says she was told it wasn't a DOL issue. KUAM files show police have arrested several people over the last year for stealing from the abandoned property. And state funeral services for former Zonya Mayor Ken Joe Atta held today at the Guam Congress Hall. Chris Barnett files this report.
An unforgettable smile, a loving spirit, always generously showing love. He was valedictorian of his class at the University of Guam. He answered a call many in his family did before him: politics, running for Zonya mayor, and winning. He was many things: a student, a singer, a writer, a merchant marine, a philosopher, a son, a husband, a father, a friend. Father Andre Erugala speaking on what many on the island were thinking when they witnessed Kenjo making headlines in the months before his death.
We wonder if we could have done something to intervene before it was too late. We are second-guessing whether there were signs we overlooked or did not know how to read. We are examining our thoughts and actions, questioning whether we expressed our love and support often enough or adequately enough. We pray that the beauty and gift of Ken Joe Atta's life will not be negated or overshadowed by his tragic death.
Ada, a one-term mayor of Jotnya, passed away on February 17th. He served as mayor of the village from 2013 to 2017 and also ran for senator as a Republican candidate in the 2018 election. He's survived by his wife Estelle and their two sons. Kenjo also left behind his father Roland, his sister Lisa, and brothers Roland and Jason, as well as a very large and very loving extended family and many, many friends. Ada is also remembered for his contributions to the local music scene. His song, I Love Guam, has been one of the most requested local songs on I-94 for years. Ada released his album 7 a.m. in Heaven in 2011 and was a fixture at local music events. He would often serenade his constituents in Jotnya, and Mayor's Council of Guam Executive Director Angel Sablan told KUAM Ada would also play guitar and sing after meetings. Funeral services for Ada will be held tomorrow at St. Francis Church in Jotnya, with burial afterward at Windward Hills Cemetery.
'Cause I love Guam, I love you. I've got love for all my Jetloos. I love girls born on Guam. They're the ones who make all of us.
From pool closures and upkeep of the island's parks to fixing the lights at Paseo Stadium, the new acting director for Department of Parks and Recreation is ready to roll up his sleeves and get to work. Joan Agan-Chafres has more.
Jesse Garcia is well aware of the long-standing issues at DPR and is up for the challenge.
There's a lot of issues that we have with the swimming pools closed, the Dedido and the Haganya pool, and then we also have the stadium that's a pressing issue of getting the Guam Major League started up. So there's a lot of things that I'm looking at. I'm looking at the contracts of the restroom cleaning, contracts for the maintenance of the parks and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that I'm looking at in seeing where are some of the shortfalls that DPR has with the operation.
Garcia, who is currently the Department of Public Works Deputy Director, replaced Richard Ibanez, who resigned last week citing health reasons. Garcia has been busy, along with reviewing reports and contracts to better understand the needs of DPR. He's had the opportunity to check out the pools and their current condition. Also, he and Oversight Chair Senator Kelly Marsh Taitano recently met with pool experts to hone in on what exactly needs to be done to get the pools up and running.
I'm going to be meeting with some of the stakeholders of the Ganya pool that use it for training, so I'm going to be meeting with them sometime this week. And as soon as I meet with them and find out what the issues that they have and how can we help them out on trying to get some kind of training system for them.
Along with trying to get both pools opened, another big concern is a lack of working lights at Paseo and the restrooms. All of the lights in right field are out. As a result, the Guam Major League Baseball season has been delayed by 1 month. Garcia said he did meet with GML President Bob Steffi.
We discussed some issues of the season starting, and I gave him some plans. So we're working on some issues to try to get the season started up as soon as possible.
He wants to reassure the public that their concerns are not falling on deaf ears.
We're listening. We're trying to come up with solutions. Rome wasn't built in a day, so give us time and let's try to get this thing situated and get these parks up and running, the pools running, the stadium running.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Joan Agan-Chafres.
Riding the waves of high tide, the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce held Fanachi Faloan today at the Dusit Tani Guam Resort. The event featured 4 women who have flourished in the respective arenas as guest speakers. Those in attendance were able to connect with entrepreneurs and business women and get inspired by each other's stories. The sold-out event also featured DIY workshops, mentoring, a beauty and wellness lounge, and a pop-up shop featuring local brands. It's the new trend in the so-called gig economy. Officials cut the ribbon today for My Office, the newest professional co-working space located on the first floor of the ITC building in Tamuning. Jay Shedd is the Senior Director of Sales and Marketing for parent company PTI Pacifica.
Everything here is designed to keep you focused and comfortable. We have ergonomic chairs where you can sit and work on your laptop. The private offices have adjustable desks so you can work sitting or standing. And if you're running a meeting, our conference rooms are ideal for collaborating.
The company says the facility is move-in ready and making it ideal for startups or as a satellite office. Space can be rented on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. It also features high-speed fiber internet, privacy booths, and free coffee. Dave Delgado is coming up with sports. Keep it here.
Agent Alpha.
What's that? An Alpha Insurance customer needs a claim settled immediately?